Okay, Joey, the stream is started. You want to look at YouTube, make sure we're up.
Yep.
Yep, that's up and running. Okay. Transition over to us. Now it's me and you there, buddy.
All right.
Hey, everybody in live stream land. We're going to kick this thing off here in just a second. Welcome to the pre-show show. Can't find my show notes again. There they are.
What have you been doing this whole time?
Yeah. All right, you ready, Joey?
Yep.
Hey, everybody, I'm Brian.
And I'm Joey.
Welcome to episode 101, Joey.
Yep.
101 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Come on along, everybody. Spend the next hour or so with us talking about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping, or just playing bikes. We're going to talk about bike racing tonight, too.
Yep.
That's going to be a lot of fun. So it's tonight, Kristin, Mohn, and Lelan Dains from Unbound Gravel are joining us to talk about the 2021 race, the plans for the race, the whole thing behind the rebrand from Dirty Kanza to Unbound Gravel. And, I mean, it wouldn't be 2020 or whatever. They all blurs together if we didn't talk about COVID plans, because that's still an issue. Anything going on in support land, Jerry?
Let me get to my show notes.
What have you been doing?
I've been doing all the backward. No. Our continued support all our Patreon members, and we have been selling more of our shirts. The Gumwall shirts are still going out.
Crazy. Sent out 2 today.
Yep. The
we got a new Patreon patron too.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, it's in the show notes.
I'm on the show notes. I'll let you finish it.
Jess George from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. That's up where I used to actually go up there to do some work. NABSUP is up there, Naval Supply Place.
Oh, okay.
In Mechanicsburg. He joined the patron family. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
H. Jess. I don't know what that's all about, but
yeah,
that's your name. Sticking to it. Gumwall t-shirts, like you were talking about earlier, Joey. I want everybody to let me know if they haven't received theirs, because the post office apparently really did not like me dropping off so many at one time, and a few of them came back.
Oh, jeez.
So I think all is well, though. I've only gotten a few back. I am a little worried. For full transparency, I have been doing everything I can, Joey, to keep shipping costs as low as possible. And maybe the plan that I have been following with the post office, I think it's more about the fact that I put like almost 40 of them on the counter the other day, and they just didn't like that. The ones that came back were all from your post office, from Solomon's.
I have it. That's where I'm sending all our Patreon sticker.
Then that's the problem. So if anybody hasn't gotten a
T-shirt,
T-shirt,
that's why I'm missing 2 items in my home mail.
Yeah, and if anybody hasn't gotten stickers, please let us know, because we want to make sure that you get the goods in your hands.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if we've already shipped it or not. We want to make sure you get them in your hands. What are you drinking over there tonight, Joey?
A listener / customer in my shop, Josh, brought me a bottle of Long Branch Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Hold that up so people can see it.
I don't know which camera nowadays.
Clink.
It's a Dave Pryor.
I've got a finger full of it too.
Yep.
Even though I haven't decided whether I'm in training or not in training. I know Mid-South's not going to happen now. So, or for me, not that Mid-South is happening. I'm not going to be going to Mid-South because of a tour. So,
I mean, this is better than beer for you as far as calories.
Yeah, I know. So that's probably what I'm going to stick with. So super quick, because we got folks standing by. Little catch up for me. I had another good miles week last week. Did 179 some odd miles. The 12 rides of Christmas through the club is going really, really well. I've had so many people, Toys for Tots, been dropping off stuff, people riding their bikes in December. It's cold out. It's kind of like, remember last year, our 12 rides, like the beginning of December was like really pleasant. It's not this year. So
we've been selling all kinds of gear for it.
Yeah.
Warmers, gloves, all that stuff.
See how it all comes around? I love it.
That's why we started it. It brings people to the...
Don't say that.
Well, it brings people to your shop. I mean, that's what the off-season's about.
But it's not a shop thing
interacting
anymore.
with it.
It's a club thing. Are you promoting it at the shop? Because I know you
put it on our social media.
We transitioned it from
the store
to the club.
Yep.
So the club's running it this year.
Yep.
And there we go. So make sure you're pushing it out.
One guy running 3 stores.
Anything else? That's all for me. I'm keeping it clean and tight tonight. What else? You got anything?
No, I would say I haven't been riding my bike because I work in the bike industry.
all you do is work on bikes.
So, I had to put a helmet on specifically because I was test riding someone's recumbent today, and I've been seeing some really bad crashes.
Did you finally? No, a recumbent. It wasn't the tandem. Do you still have the tandem that I promised you wouldn't hunt for very long?
No, there was I had to get a soldering iron and everything up because some of the cables were pinched. The guy that built it, the tandem commotion or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So
actually
you fixed it.
I fixed it and then some.
And then it's out the door.
Because Di2 kept shorting and cutting the battery out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're just shorting the cable.
Got it.
So I just ended up putting a new cable in, but the soldering didn't work.
Got it.
That's about it. I like fixing versus.
I didn't talk about it. I want to real quick. I went up and did NCR, and I know it upset you because I did it without you. I did Northern Central Rail Trail. We went all the way from Hunt Valley.
I mean, the club rode gravel and didn't talk to the gravel guy is what bums me out.
I got an invite, though.
Yeah. We'll leave it short so I don't get mad because we got guests.
You were working.
Yeah.
Strava Club.
We have Mark Lewis from Centerville, Maryland with 159.2 miles.
Good job, Mark. Big miles.
Tim Dugan from Alexandria, Virginia with 101.5.
Wonder if he's right. I didn't look at any of his rides. I wonder if he's doing out in Leesburg.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
He's right at the edge at Alexandria.
Right on the edge. I bet you he's doing some Leesburg gravel.
Kerry.
I would say Bergier
from Kenmore, Washington with West Coaster, 152.2. We are down to 100 miles to make the top 100 this week.
Oh, that is so low.
And we're almost at 700 people. That's still a lot of miles. So we're at 680.
680 in the Strava Club.
Yep.
And
which is getting big. We're at strava.com/clubs/gravel travel dirt.
Very good. Good job, Mark. Good job, Tim. Good job, Carrie. And come on, everybody. We need to step those numbers up. I want to be one of those big Strava clubs that people are wanting to join.
That big. Drama.
It's not. You know what I've started to do? I go through the Strava Club now, the recent activity, and I check out people's rides. There's some people like putting in some serious rides. It's super cool. I've never really done that.
We had those people almost hitting 500-mile weeks last week.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so I would like to welcome our guest as soon as I can get this camera thing working. Oh no, what happened? You got to be kidding me! All the camera stuff just died, dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, Lelan and Kristin, hang on 1 second.
Oh, they're right here.
No. I'm not talking about that. Where did the?
Joey's got us.
Yeah, you're looking at the Zoom. I'm not looking at the OBS. I'm not looking at the streaming software. I'm gonna do this super quick. I know what it is.
Well, dude,
Bear with me. I think I got it worked. I think I got it fixed. Oh, Sugarfoot. Okay, everybody. Hey, Joey, I said earlier you were going to do a little dance.
I don't
just
dance.
Stand by for a second. Okay, we're not going to do this halfway, so I'm going to take 10 seconds and actually pull this back in. So everybody bear with me for a second over there in the live stream land. We'll cut all this stuff out. On the
I didn't look at the live.
I can cut all of it out.
Travis, Mr. Grusk, so Gravel 101, my favorite class. Josh Sands, who got us the nice bottle of whiskey. Bourbon is the best if training. True story, way better than beer. And then Ted said I made a mistake of splurging on some Castelli winter kit. It works great. Some too broke to ride in cold weather now.
I don't know what happened here, guys, but I'm going to be able to do this super quick because I'm fast. Over here, I apologize, everybody, for the goof up. I can cut all this out for the podcast, though, so we can. All of our live stream folks are actually used to us messing up.
Hey, you're consistent.
Yeah, that's it.
Consistency is key.
Let's see, I got one done. Oh my God, Joey.
I don't do any of the tech stuff. I don't want any of the responsibility of something goes wrong.
I'm with you, Joey. No, thank you.
We do risk having a toddler burst in on us, so.
Oh, that's
God, Lord, Joey.
You all right over there?
I'm spazzing out. It's like everything went completely haywire over here. Okay, that's good. That's good. Turn this off and on. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I thought this was all working. I'm gonna hit some transitions and see if it actually I can get it to come back. No, it's here.
All right, that switched over.
So I'm looking at your guys' website, and I saw, Gravel Routes New York. And I'm thinking, well, I used to live in New York, upstate in the Catskill Mountains. What do they have for gravel routes? Nothing to show right now. And I said, oh, yeah, that sounds about
We that just started that.
Yeah, we're trying to make a database for the Mid-Atlantic. No, I've been to a couple places in the Catskills, and I want to take my bike up. I'm usually like fly fishing when I'm up there. But I'm also afraid of, there's some place in the Catskills that's in the middle of nowhere where I feel like I'm in like West Virginia type of territory. So I'm afraid to be the guy that rides through in spandex and a bike. So I'm trying to debate that.
There was one community, it's kind of like an unincorporated kind of situation. I can't remember the name of it, but I was advised to stay clear of it. So, yes, proceed with that.
I'm going to be quiet over here for a minute so that I can focus on what I'm doing.
And the Catskills are just tough. Like most of the mountains over there, they're just steep and craggly. So
yeah,
it's not like the Rockies, which are slow, long, average gradient of like 7. These are 13 to 20%.
Yeah,
over there.
They're pitchy.
You're either going hard up or hard down.
And it's such a beautiful place too. I just wish it was a little better riding.
Yeah.
I was in like Roscoe area this May, and I got turned around in one area. Yeah, even in my truck, I thought I didn't know what's going to happen to me. Some people,
and there are great dirt climbs there in the mountains, but it would be very difficult to put together a completely gravel route. I bet you couldn't get better than 50-50. You'd have to use ample pavement to connect an actual loop.
Yeah.
Now you get out west towards the Finger Lakes, you get a little bit more road systems to play with probably, but
yeah.
in the mountains it'd be tough.
Joey, I got you back.
Yep. All right. I was actually planning on my Catskills trip yesterday, Brian.
I'm not paying attention to you. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'll talk to you later about it.
So embarrassing, guys. I apologize.
No, yeah, you're fine. We're good.
Okay.
I was going to say, Lelan and I are in the event industry. Nothing goes like it's supposed to.
It's 2020. Yeah. And it's bike related, Brian. I'll give you that.
Might be a little janky, but I'm going to get it working. I actually just opened up a whole new.
Isn't there a race up in the Catskills? I feel like I just saw. The race in the Catskills. I don't remember. So I've been up mechanic wise to Tour Battenkill. Ted, I don't know. I'm actually trying to remember where that's related.
Just a little north.
Yeah, I thought it was. There is some dirt thrown in there because everyone would freak out like years ago because gravel bikes weren't a thing.
But it's dirt, right? It wasn't like proper gravel like here in the Midwest. It was pretty smooth, hard packed dirt, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I mean, the roadies probably wouldn't agree, but for mountain bikers and gravel riders, are like,
Yeah.
That might as well be a bike path.
I thought it was fun. I was usually working at it, but yeah, a lot of dirt. I mean, those were pre-gravel days, and everyone would freak out. There were the roadies, and the mountain bikers loved it. They were racing the road.
Yeah, that was the North American Queen of Classics, and a lot of people, when this gravel thing took off, people kind of forgot that Tour Bat and Kill existed. It was a big race.
Yeah. Is that what you were thinking, Ted? See, let me check the live chat. Never mind, it's the Mammoth just south of the New York line towards Rochester. Mammoth.
Oh, dude, I think I got everybody there.
All right.
Woo. I apologize again profusely for my technical inexpertise.
Have a drink.
Yeah,
Maybe that was the problem because Joey just gave me one.
I gave one.
Okay, let's get back into it. Okay, so welcome.
Oh,
now.
we're all on YouTube.
We're all there now.
Yeah.
God, we finally, yay.
Yeah.
Welcome now.
Oh boy.
Unbound Gravel, Kristin, Mohn, and Lelan, Dains. Thank you guys for joining us. I very much appreciate you guys. We have been back and forth trying to get this arranged, and here we are. I'm excited.
Yeah. Finally.
Did it.
So how are you guys both doing tonight?
Great.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Great. So, Kristin, I'm going to ask you to go first. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, I'm a native Emporian. My kids were the fourth generation to graduate from Emporia High School, so it's
Wow.
we're pretty entrenched in this community. I graduated several years ago from high school and left for quite a while and came back. And through all of that, got into cycling, got into the community here, and kind of came on board to help with DK way back in the day, and have kind of just stuck with it ever since. At one point, Lelan was my employee at the music store that we own, so known Lelan forever.
Awesome.
Yeah, just an Emporia girl, mostly.
Lelan, you're up.
Okay. Well, like Kristin said, once upon a time worked in a music store. Used my high school graduation money to buy an electric guitar from Kristin and her husband Tim, and promptly joined a rock band. But that's mostly irrelevant. So now Tim and I, Kristin's husband, and I own a bike shop here in town, Gravel City Bike Company, and we were, of course, former owners of Dirty Kanza Promotions, which was acquired by Lifetime, which is now Unbound, and they kept me on board to be their event director. So I'm currently split my time between helping run the bike shop and managing not only all the Unbound Gravel events, but also our Big Sugar event down there in Arkansas.
I didn't know you guys own the bike shop.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's a beautiful store.
That's right, because just so
Thank
for
you.
reference, Joey has done, what year were you out there?
17.
17. Okay.
Probably the best weather year that I've heard of.
Joey enjoyed his time in Emporia.
Beautiful town.
Yeah.
And I love the bike shop.
Yeah. So what brought you guys to the world of gravel? I mean, I think it's I kind of asked that question of our guests, but I think for you guys it's probably a little bit self-explanatory. But I'll give you the shot.
Well, we're both from Emporia, living in the Flint Hills, but actually, I don't know if it is quite as obvious. For me, I was working out in Colorado Springs, working for Carmichael Training Systems, and I was leading trips all over the world, training camps, race experiences, race support, all over the globe. And that was kind of running me ragged, so I wanted a little bit change of pace. I thought I wanted to come back home, and I thought I was going to start my own business, putting on events. And I think it was Kristin who was like, you've got some skills. We've got an opportunity. Maybe we can put that together. And that's how I came over and joined the DK team.
Cool.
And my story, well, I've been a avid runner for a long time. And truth be told, I looked over at my husband one day and said, dude, you're getting fat. You need to find something to do.
Oh, man.
So he started cycling. He started running with me and he hated it. And then he started cycling and he fell in love. So he was one of the original DK participants lined up at the start line in 2006. Definitely caught the gravel bug. I followed suit simply because we had twins. And when he started riding bikes more, he started kind of coming into the time that I'd set aside for my exercising. And that wasn't cool, but I didn't want him to stop exercising. So we ended up turning cycling into dates. So I got a bike and we would call a babysitter and the babysitter would come over and hang out with the kids and we would go out on big bike rides. So I remember my babysitter said to me one time, he said, "You're the only person that when you call and say, I ask what time and you say 6, I have to ask AM or PM." Because he never knew what time we were going to go out and ride bikes. But that kind of got me to gravel and seeing the very first running of DK, having kids and being very much involved in this community. I just really saw the opportunity with the event to help make it become something pretty special for thousands of people. So.
Well, I think we all know cycling is greater than running. So that was a very good move. Although Joey...
My wife's a huge runner and she's upstairs right now.
Joey's wife probably won't like that too.
But we met
much.
through cycling.
So there you go. So I want to geek out just for a minute. Before we start talking about the events or any of that stuff, tell us about your stable of bikes. What are you guys riding out there?
Oh.
Lay it on them, Kristin.
I have my main bike is a RLT RDO 9er. And then I have a titanium warbird. I have a specialized, what's my mountain bike, Lelan?
Sounds like me.
I have, what else do I have out there?
Where'd you get that from?
I have a tandem. I own the back half of a tandem. The front half is indeed too large for me to ride. I had to do that before when Tim ended up quitting a race and I had to try to ride the bike in by myself. I think that's all of them right now.
You sound a lot like me, Kristy, because whenever I get to geeking out on the bike, it's like I have to ask Joey. It's like,
what one is that one?
What is the bike? No. Lelan, what about you?
My list is not near as long as it once was. I've got a salsa bear grease.
Nice.
It's about 4 or 5 years old, and ride that most of the time. But then I've also got a cutthroat that I ambitiously thought I'd do all kinds of bike packing on. But then my wife and I started a family, so that out the window for a little while. But those are the 2 bikes in my stable right now, and I'm still holding on to my original Redline monocog mountain bike. And I tell you what, for $300-400 I bought that for 15 years ago. You can't get the resale value out of it. It's just a tank. I love that. In fact, right now I've loaned it out to the local high school mountain bike team and let those kids ride around on it.
Beat it up.
Cool. So let's dive in now. So as everybody knows, Dirty Kanza went through a rebrand and changed the name to Unbound Gravel. And I'm a marketing person, and I know how tough a rebrand like that can be. How did it all shake out? I mean, I don't want to get into the whole backstory of the whys and all that. I'm more curious about like what went into making that happen and all the heavy lifting that had to take place.
I think I have PTSD and don't remember a lot of it at this point.
I can imagine.
Well, the name and the logo, everything's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
I know when Joey and I both first saw it that first week.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, did you see this? And he's like, yeah, I saw that. And we were both like, boy, that's on point. That is very on point. We're not, just blowing smoke here. It actually really is.
It was definitely a process. Lelan and I, as stakeholders in this event and in this community, I think felt a real responsibility towards not only the future of the event, but also the history and the legacy of the event. And we took the rebrand really pretty seriously. We started with a general survey that went out to I think over 50 people or so answered it. That just helped us collect words and ideas about what people felt of the event and how the event, what the event meant to them, how it made them feel, describe, how they would describe the Flint Hills. There were just some very generic questions that kind of helped our process of coming up with names. And from that, we then worked with establishing a core group, a task force, to start kind of helping get through the process of the name. So
how long did it take for all that? What was your timeline? What did it look like?
not long enough, but too long at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I know how tough it is to do
3 or
stuff.
4 months.
I know how tough it can be to do stuff by committee. But I applaud you for taking on that heavy lift to get all the stakeholders, because it sounds like you got all the stakeholders involved and embedded in the process. How well has it been accepted?
Well, it depends on where you look, I suppose. Obviously, there's some critics on social media, and that's where you're going to tend to hear some of that. But to be honest, one of the reasons that helped us focus in on Unbound was the overwhelming support we got from industry insiders, sponsors, partners. Everyone was really liking it. And for me personally, that was something that helped me come to terms with it in my own head. Because it's not that I didn't like Unbound. I think it was just hard, as Kristin kind of alluded to, for us to even wrap our heads around any other new name. And yeah, we were in agreement the name needed to change, but how do you go about doing that into what? Like I thought there for a time that I was just going to have to accept some fate and that I would never like it. But I came to terms with Unbound, and it was largely due to key stakeholder support in that name, but not just from within the industry. Obviously, we kind of teased it out there when we were ready, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. There were some people out there that just didn't want the name to change. I don't think they'll ever be happy with what it is, no matter what we'd come up with, and that's okay. There's a lot of emotion tied to it. We totally understand that. It's kind of a bit of a grieving period, if you will, and we're all going through that. But it was easier for us because we're super excited about this name. We're super excited about the visuals and the story that we can tell, which is the same story. And that's what I like about Unbound and what it means and represents. It's what this event has always been.
I've largely been super excited about the feedback we've gotten. I mean, you're going to have those blips at the beginning, but largely, I think it's just going to be a very exciting future for us. And I do think, once we get to have the event too, that's going to help cement it even more.
Yeah. The social media side of it. Come on, there's just the internet, and I think anybody that's a real person, can understand we're in this time of life that this is what's happening. We are doing, these are the things that we're doing right now. Yep. And I think it's you're not on the front edge of it, but you're right there in that it's the right time, and I don't think that this is just my opinion. Just me talking. I think like Kristin, you just said, you're going to have the event. It's going to cement it, and people aren't going to think about it anymore. Yep. That's just me, though. I don't know. Joe, you have any thoughts on that?
No,
you look like you wanted to say something, so I don't know.
I had a small brain fart.
It's okay. It happens all the time.
I think I heard it.
So we're all hoping that 2021 is going to be a much kinder and gentler year than what we call it, the dumpster fire that was 2020. And for me personally, to achieve that means lots and lots of gravel events, even if they're modified. It's okay. Yeah. Our good friend Dave Pryor up at Unpaved did a fantastic job with his October event, with the remodeling it and shrinking it and putting things together. And I think he's very proud to say that he wasn't actually able to trace any COVID cases through contact tracing back to the event. What are the plans looking like for 2021, guys?
Well, I have a bike ride, of course. It's a challenging thing, right? A lot of people, they want us to have a plan and they want answers, and we want answers. But it's been easy for me to be patient with local officials, city officials, health department, because how can I ask them today to give me an answer for an event in June? Yeah. So everyone kind of has given the same response, which is, hey, we're all going to work together to see that a bike ride takes place. So there's a lot of positive energy across the board in Emporium. Everyone wants to see this happen. And the key phrase there is bike ride, to see a bike ride take place. And you said the word modified. Yeah, this will probably be modified. So when we think about areas where we come together, and they're phenomenal times. You think of the riders meeting where we congregate in the historic Granada Theater, and you got 850 people packed in there, and you're getting amped up. And that probably won't take place in the theater this year, right? We can't be shoulder to shoulder in there. And so we'll just live stream that. It's a really easy fix on our part. It does take a small part away from the specialness, because it all adds up. But at the end of the day, to your point, Brian, if we can ride our bikes, that's what we want to see happen in 2021. And so riding the bikes is the easiest part. It's all the ancillary activities that bring together the crowds and that type of thing. So we're very optimistic today that a bike ride can take place on June 5th in Emporium. So,
yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
You just got to bring people together as best that you can. Because the gravel's all about, and we all know this, gravel's about community.
Yep.
And any way, shape, or form that we can recreate that community. And I think, we talked about it earlier, flexibility is the thing that 2020 has taught us all. And to possibly not take ourselves so seriously, at least Joey and I, that's what we were like that to be, what I'm hearing is things like the expo and all of those weekend events that people might be used to are probably not going to happen, but hey, let's not commit to anything, right? That's kind of, and if something does happen, it's going to be different. Get used to the idea now that it's going to be different. And I know we heard from Matt Hawkins down at Croatan. He's like, if you want to register for the event, that's great. Register for the event, but you need to understand going into it that it may happen, it may not happen, it may not happen at all the way we think we wanted to have it happen. Yeah. And I think from a perspective, if there's a community that's going to respond to that, I think it's the gravel community.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be
pretty accepting of that. I mean, and whatever they talk about on social media, I mean, that's a whole other world. People do weird things on that.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Well, so Brian, those are some good points. It makes me think of some things I want to make sure our listeners hear before we get off this chat. But we're definitely leading with positivity. Today, if you were to ask me, I think those activities will exist. I think there will be an expo. I think it will be modified. But we've already got commitments from almost the same number of vendors as we had last year. The good news is we have ample space. We have 2 city blocks with parking lots that we can spread those vendors out 6 feet. We've been using what we call the IKEA model, this singular direction flow. Probably even a stop-go volunteer at the entrance, to make sure not too many people are going in at once. But today, when you look at all the touch points of the event, I think they'll happen, just slightly different. Awesome. So there'll be a packet pickup, but it's probably just the rider that can go in. The family should probably stay out so it's not too many people inside. We'll have a riders meeting. It'll just be live streamed, not in the theater. So all those types of things, to me, it's certainly acceptable in my head. But then there's also this second part of it. We're trying to be responsible. We're trying to do our part. We're going to work with the city the best we can. We're going to create all these rules and new norms and modifications, but we need everyone's cooperation. And for a number of reasons, not only for your own safety as a participant, but for the safety of the community. Because if we say something like, hey, you're going to be required to wear a buff, a mask, a face covering on the start line, what have you. We need people to participate in that because, one, we don't want, just like Dave Pryor was very proud he had no contact tracing back to his event, we don't want that either, right? Because that could reflect poorly on us and our decision to have the event, and it could affect things in the future. Right. Beyond people's health, obviously, that's a given. But also, Emporia is a small community. We have 20 hospital beds in this town. And we're struggling with the COVID ourselves without thousands of people coming to town. So it could really have detrimental effects on our healthcare systems here if we have an outbreak associated with the event. So there's a level of responsibility on our part to, one, decide collectively with stakeholders of the city if this is prudent and responsible. Do we have the appropriate safeguards in place? And if we think we do, then we need everyone's participation in that and to abide by that for sure.
Yeah.
So I had in my notes here to talk about COVID-19, but I'm actually going to skip that because, I mean, you can't even plan for it, right? It's like, who knows what's going to happen? It could be a totally different thing. I mean, I know you guys have got plans, but and I don't really think it deserves a deep dive at this point. I think it's just enough to say, and what I've already heard is that, it's a big part of the process of our planning. And, why deep dive into what those plans may look like? I was actually after that, I was going to talk to you. I wanted to get a little bit of information about Emporia. It's a place that Joey has been, but it's someplace that I've never been. And wow, you hit that 19 hospital beds in Emporia in a time of a pandemic and talking about bringing a bunch of people in. That's a scary, scary thought. But the economic impact for Emporia has to be vast.
Well, yeah, this event is a weekend that sustains several of our downtown businesses. And so, I mean, the impact, the fiscal impact of the 2019 event was over $5 million from that weekend. And in a town the size of Emporia, that's huge. But even more than that, what we see is the number of riders that come and train on the DK roads or the Unbound roads throughout the year. And that didn't happen either or it happened to a much lesser degree in 2020. So we're looking forward to trying to get back to some of that as well, because that impact is also felt. It's a lot harder to put the number on that type of visitors per se. But, we have not only do we have the gravel cycling, but we also in Emporia, we also have disc golf, which there's two or three very, very big tournaments here as well. And those were canceled. The fall one did happen, but the spring one that happens right around the time of Unbound was canceled this year. And that was a big hit to this community to have those two events canceled back to back pretty much.
Wow. How many people live in Emporia?
It's around 26,000.
Okay. So that's a tight-knit community right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a very, very tight-knit community. And that's exciting that I know, from all I've heard, Joe, you've experienced it, is that they're very open and enjoy having people come in.
Oh, the hospitality was amazing.
Yeah.
It was, I've never seen it anywhere else.
Right.
It was fun. The whole experience was, it's going to be hard to beat.
Right.
I did like Unpaved as far as a gravel event, but it won't be that for me.
Right.
But then I don't want that to come the wrong way for either side.
No,
but the whole thing was great, and I, other than the fact that I suck at riding bikes, I would look forward to coming back again. But
I think we talked extensively about your experience in 2017 on one of our very early podcasts. But that was where you got that little trash panda nickname. Where, Joey would eat trash off the ground.
I eat trash there's so much food dry. You get like beef jerky in a packet still wrapped up. Like, you need fuel, just pick it out.
Why?
Even contact on wheels. So.
Yeah. I mean, you guys even do that. What is it? The weekend after the cleanup. The amount of stuff that is whether it's shot out of the bike, discard it. People are lazy.
Oh, I think it just comes out,
and then you guys go and clean it all up, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think that stuff just flies out. I don't think anybody's
there's some lazy people.
Well, yeah, there's that.
But got to clarify something on that cleanup though. We drive every mile of every distance. There's 6 different distances, mind you. A lot of that overlaps, but some of it is different. So I don't even know what the total mileage is, but it's not just waste from the riders that we're picking up, and the waste that we get bags worth. We're also picking up refrigerators, blown out tires, microwaves, and unless Joey was here,
kiddie pools.
That's probably not left by our riders. It's a Flint Hills cleanup. It's not just picking up after the race. And so all of that waste, if you've seen the pictures on social media from when we do that, a couple of those trash bags is goo wrappers and the like. The rest of it is just refuse from local residents and what have you.
So. Bravo on that.
Well, I was just praising the general cleanup. Like, it's a cycling event.
Yeah. Well, just to circle back a little bit on what you mentioned about the hospitality of this community, one thing we've faced for I don't even know how many years is that, is this event going to leave Emporia? And, that the answer to that question is just like, it's a resounding no for exactly what you spoke about. You know, like Unbound is Emporia and Emporia is Unbound. They are interknit together. They're entwined. This event is so special because of I think 3 particular things, and one of those is this community.
It's like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah,
it's like it's your thing. It's like you're the cookie Christmas factory out there. That's awesome. No, I think that is fantastic. Now, you guys, I know that I looked at the website and you got some training camps and some other stuff like that too. That's kind of wrapped around it. Did I see that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did.
Explore that a little bit.
So we've had what we call our spring training camp or our Unbound training camp for 7 or 8 years now. But 2020 would have been the first year for our XL training camp, which would be specific training for our 350-mile distance. And so that's probably the thing I'm most excited about in 2021. I was excited in 2020. We didn't get to do it. But to be able to prepare people and be a part of their journey for the 350, we'll be taking one of the nights and we'll start at 8 p.m. and we'll ride till 8 a.m.
Wow.
Because over 350 miles, the winners do it in 23, 24 hours. You're guaranteed to ride through the night. That's a given. And it's a piece of it that a lot of people haven't been able to experience. And so I think that's going to be a great opportunity for folks who are looking, 200 is just not enough anymore. And we hear that quite a bit. 350 is maybe what they're thinking about next or dreaming of. And the camp is a phenomenal way to prepare for a successful day.
And to follow up too, Chris, you said something earlier about how people will come out and train on the roads. I mean, the impact is not just the weekend.
Yeah.
The impact.
Right.
It sounds like there's I'm getting a bigger picture, a bigger understanding of the impact on the community. So that's
it's one of those things, like going back to how long we've been out here riding on these gravel roads. The last few years, it's kind of one of those bittersweet moments. You go out in the Flint Hills for solitude, and leading up to DK, all of a sudden there's all these other cyclists out on these roads, and you're like, hey, what are you doing out here? This is this is my space. But it's great because you see people out there enjoying, and it's a national treasure. The Flint Hills are, and it's a great way to have people experience the beauty of the Flint Hills for sure.
Joey, have you been monitoring the live stream? We got any questions that I've ignored the live stream. Everybody in the live stream, I apologize for earlier, and I also apologize for not paying attention to you, but I wanted to focus on our guests. But Joey, I know you're keeping tabs on it. They got any questions coming out of there?
Not yet.
Okay, we won't worry about that then.
We're nailing it, and that's what that means.
Say again. I'm sorry, Lelan.
We are nailing it, is what that means.
Yeah. I want to give you guys an opportunity to get some sponsor mentions in here. That's a big part of what happens. So go for it. Talk some sponsors.
Well, we couldn't start anywhere other than Garmin, right? Garmin is our title sponsor, and that's an exciting partnership because they're Kansas-based. They're in Olathe, Kansas, which is a suburb of Kansas City, and home state representation there. And Unbound is not marked. The course relies on either GPS, paper maps, or cue sheets. So it's a pretty crucial component of the whole experience. And I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a participant that doesn't have a GPS device. And obviously Garmin's been a big leader in that area. So they've been a fantastic partner for the last, 3 years now?
3 years, yeah. And their 1030 that I use as a training device is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's a...
Chamois Butter's been with us since about year one, and they are Kansas City based as well. They're on the other side of the river in Missouri, but we don't hold that against them too much. We, like I say, basically since the beginning, and they've been phenomenal partners and have been with us every step of the way. And it's through these partnerships, Salsa was there since day one. We've all kind of grown up together in a lot of ways, and we helped them out, and they certainly helped us out, and couldn't have done it without a lot of good partnerships. Goo Energy Labs out in California,
Goo's been there
early since the beginning, and huge supporters of what we do.
There was one on your list that I picked up last night when I was doing my homework. CBDMD. Actually, it caught my eye because my brother's on the board of directors of CBDMD.
Oh, wow.
I texted him last night. I was like, hey, this is you guys. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, I don't know anything about that. But
I haven't gotten to try their product yet, but my dog has.
yeah, they're big with the pets thing. It's big with the pets.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's been involved with them from the ground up. And pretty
cool.
exciting things going on. So. Well, listen, guys, thank you so very. Was there any more sponsors you wanted to get out there?
Cut them off there, Brian.
I know. I don't.
Their bike shop. I don't know if there's. I don't technically if that's a sponsor, but everyone goes there.
Gravel City Adventure is the merchandise partner. So
yeah,
all of your Unbound merchandising gear and more can be purchased at gravelcityadventure.com. Get my website right.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes. gravelcityadventure.com.
And we have to mention Orange Seal because Orange Seal and Max, you can't get through this event without
finally
some good tires. So Max is an Orange Seal. Yes.
We Joey and I are both. Well, I'm an Orange Seal person because Joey put me there.
Yeah.
But
yes,
we are Orange Seal fans, and so often we have to
because we have a lot of the unpaved people that are big stance people. It's
Orange
controversy
Seal
on here.
Well, I won't put
that should be one of your this or that's.
I had that last
it's come
week.
up before,
it's
but
come up before, and I think we did it last
Oh, that's
week.
right. That was on the that was okay.
I even got a
Crap.
text from Dave this week about Orange Seal and stands. I'm like, come on, it's always there.
Clink. Hey, Dave.
Dave is so good and so right about so many things except that one.
We call him Father Dave.
Father Dave. Yeah.
Father Dave.
Yeah, I'm making a shirt with his
I
face
don't know.
on
We
it.
might Father Dave and I might be the same age. I don't know if we can.
So, like I said, though, thank you so much,
Yeah.
guys, for all the back and forth we had to get together. And I am so glad we worked it out because this
Yeah.
has been a whole
This was
lot
great.
of fun. Fantastic. I loved hearing about all of the changes that are going on there. But I think I got a bigger, better picture from
Yeah.
somebody who hasn't been there. I think, you really presented that whole thing incredibly well, which is what you do.
So
Well, come see it in person.
yeah, come
it's
with-
worth
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, quick question, and I'm not going to take away from everybody else who puts on the event, but when I was like, Lelan, how much do you sleep in like the 5 days around Dirty Kanza? I saw you everywhere.
Yeah, so starting from about Wednesday night on, Wednesday, Thursday, it's 4 to 5 hours, and Friday it's a couple. Saturday night, for the last few years I stopped going to sleep because it was only 1 or 2 hours, and I felt worse waking up after an hour or two than just staying awake so it ends up being about 40 to 45 hours straight of being awake. But I've been training for my own endurance event because I've got a 6-month-old and a 2.5-year-old, and so I'm getting 2 hours of sleep every night anyways.
Well,
I just look like a haggard mess by the end of it. So.
no, that's fantastic. And that's a good question, Joey.
He was
It
everywhere.
is.
It's like, it's seeing event promoters. I mean, they put in more work than people realize.
Yeah.
And I just happened to realize Lelan was everywhere.
Yeah.
We asked, a lot of people want to reach out to us and say, hey, I want to put on a gravel ride of my own. And the first thing I say is, don't do 200 miles.
Just keep it small.
Think long and hard about it. Well, every week, guys, we do a little this or that thing, and I sure hope that you're going to want to stick around for our this or that's because I got some fun ones tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't looked yet.
Okay, so here's how it works. I'm going to throw a couple. Joe, you're not allowed to look. I'm going to throw a couple of things out there, and we're going to start with you guys. We like Kristin, you go first. Lelan, you go second. Joey, you're third, and then I'll bring it home.
Yep.
And then if there's anybody in the live stream that wants to chime in, the rules of engagement are you got to give an answer. You can ask for clarification if you've got a confusing point, because I tend to write them weird sometimes, and explain yourself if you'd like to. First item up, Kristin, for you, bluegrass or pop?
Bluegrass.
Thank you. Lelan?
I'm a huge bluegrass guy.
You're
I'm going to make up something just to butcher it. But
Yeah, you were trying to think of some answer.
Lelan beat me to it.
You caught it. You caught you off guard on that. I think we're all in
I think
agreement.
we're all in the bluegrass.
Yeah, I think we're all
bluegrass
in the same
folky
place.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's fitting to the.
Well, yeah. I've been doing when I feel really dark, little Billy Strings. That dude, I'm pretty sure, sold his soul to the devil to be able to play the guitar the way that he does. Okay, so next item on this or that, and this one might require some clarification on my part. So the widest tire that your frame clearance will allow, but it's got to be a slick, or a tire that's almost too skinny for conditions, but you've got tread. Kristin, you're up. She's like,
I don't even understand. Like, I run a 38 or a 40 on my gravel bike.
Got it. That one goes pretty deep into the geeky kind of.
Yeah, I'm like.
So if you sound like you're a lot like me, it's like, Joey, what fits on my bike? And I'd like to put.
That's where I take it to Gravel City Adventure and Supply and tell them what I need, and then they tell me what to put on there.
I do the exact same thing.
Brian does that to me. Yeah. Just put something on there. Yeah, it's comfortable.
Yeah, I'm going to do this ride. Put something on there. Yeah. Lelan, I think with Lelan and Joey, we're going to get much better answers. Lelan, go ahead.
So definitely fattest tire I can get, even if it's bald, because I ride a cutthroat, and I tend to run 2.2 Max's paces on there, which is a pretty low profile tread. And the reality is some of that tread can help prevent against some cuts on your tread right there, but most cuts happen on your sidewall, so it's kind of a non-issue. And traction is less of an issue. Most of us aren't railing into corners, and so that even a wider tire with less tread still gives you, at a lower pressure with some orange seal, gives you a more comfortable ride out here on the Flint Hills for sure.
There you go, Joey.
See, I dozed off during that whole thing.
Joey.
I'm going to concur with Lelan. Especially if it's muddy. I mean, nothing's going to help you, but if the more knobs you have, the more it's clog up.
Okay.
So go super fat and run it super low. That's going to do way better.
Nice.
And it's just going to be comfortable.
Okay. I just ditto what you said.
You just ditto?
Just ditto.
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Nice answer. No, I think my Diverge doesn't clear that big a tire.
Whatever I put on for you, go.
Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. This one is one that really, next item up on this or that's one that really bothers me. Would you rather wear a mismatched kit, meaning a jersey from one kit and bibs from another kit so they don't match, or ride flat pedals?
I have to pick one of those.
Yeah. Or you don't. You could be like Wes in the old days and just decline to answer.
Oh.
I think I'd rather ride flat pedals, maybe.
Yeah.
If I had to pick.
Leland?
Luckily, I don't have any flat pedals, so I can't put them on.
Oh, then no pedals.
And you can't buy any right now anyway.
That's right. Bike industry, shut down.
Drop the seat, have an adult strider. You're good to go.
There it is. Yeah, right.
Yeah. This one's easy for me. Mismatch all day. In fact, it's not even a this or that. I often will wear a god-awful purple and yellow chamois button jersey with teal Gravel City shorts, and I don't think anything of it. It's just the first two things I grabbed out of my bin, and off I go.
And he will also put his chamois butter on in front of you.
Nice.
Oh, fantastic. I knew I liked that guy. Joey?
I don't care about the kit sometimes.
Oh,
I got over
You're
it.
a liar.
I got over that.
Aesthetics are everything to you.
It was.
Okay.
I started showing up in like Hawaiian shirts, button downs,
That's
like
true.
short.
That's
like
true.
it's
That's
just
true.
That's
true.
I stopped caring. I think people have been getting too serious.
It's 2020.
Yeah. I was doing half those rides last year. Whatever I decided to pull out of my closet.
So when I go out on a road bike, it would drive me crazy to have.
You're getting like pinky in the air.
No,
yeah.
but when it's on a gravel bike, everything's under flannel anyway, so nobody's going to see any of it. So.
I do like our kits, like our podcast kits.
Yeah.
Goes good with black bibs.
Measuring sock height, Brian, and
say that one more time, Leland. I'm sorry.
are you measuring your sock height?
I used to get all sort of grief because I would scrunch my socks down.
Oh,
that was
Brian
my
had
one.
ankle socks that were actually like calf socks turned into ankle socks.
Don't even talk about my don't even talk about my triathlon days where I actually didn't wear socks. Don't get. I was one of them.
I used to worry about bib lines, sock line, and all that stuff, and now it's just out the window.
2020, dude, doesn't matter.
2019.
Yeah.
We're all on shaving, right? Shaving our legs.
Yeah.
Long ago.
No, we're not doing.
I used to do that a lot.
Did you do that?
I do shave mine.
For like 5 years.
Okay. Last item on this or that, and I know where this one's going. For ride navigation, would you rather use your phone or your bike computer? Psst, Garmin.
Yeah, Garmin.
All
Yeah,
day.
for sure.
I said Garmin. Yeah, I'm like Garmin.
I think that was a consensus Garmin from the Kansas crowd. Joe, you're up.
Leland has had some good answers. I thought maybe he would.
Well, truth be told, I ride with nothing. Garmin, cover your ears for a moment, because I don't get lost when I don't go further than 10 miles from my house. I don't even do anything, but
Joey?
I ride a Element Roam. I switched literally right after I was out in Kansas a few years ago. I don't know.
Well, I'm Garmin.
I mean, I'm Garmin everything else.
I'm Garmin through and through. Bike computer.
But I also need to
watch.
ride my bike to use a bike computer.
True that.
So-
True that. Yeah. When you work in a bike shop in 2020, it's hard to actually get on a bike, right, Joey?
Yep.
Tough. No, I'm a Garminer through and through.
Yeah. You have an old one too.
Yeah, but I will keep my routes, because when I lead tours, guys, and I will have to, like, literally before every day starts, when we do a map meeting the night before, I'm the guy that's sitting there for 45 minutes or an hour, people handing them Garmins, and it's loading routes onto people's Garmins and handing them back out and stuff like that. So that's my thing. So I got to know how to do it.
My Garmin 500 was the most bulletproof piece of cycling
I'm
equipment I had.
still on a 520. My 520 is bulletproof, like you said. It's
not the 500 still.
well,
Yeah. I wish I wouldn't have got rid of that one. Now you can buy them for like $70 or $100.
you should do that.
There's
Nick.
people that hoard like 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, it gives you that breadcrumb trail, and that's all you need.
That's it.
The sad part is the Element Bolt is what the 500 was, but the 500 was, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
I do like my Roam.
Well, that's it, guys, for this or that. And we have about reached our hour, so I'm going to shut this thing down one more time. Christy and Leland, thank you so very much. This is just a great conversation. Very much enjoyed it. Nice meeting you. And hopefully at some point I'll be like Joey and get to experience Emporia. That would be a lot of fun.
We'd welcome you with open arms.
Yeah, do they have like a 20-mile distance?
Yep.
This is the kid one.
No, Joey does. I go
Brian's a diesel truck. Brian is
go big or go home.
Brian's a pretty good rider.
Joe, you got anything else before we shut it down?
Nope. Otherwise, I'll keep talking.
Okay.
And I didn't talk a lot this episode.
No, you
which is
didn't.
Good. People probably like that.
You guys stick around while we shut this thing down. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. It's a listener-supported podcast by some incredible people on Patreon and or PayPal. Our show, Joey, can be found wherever people find their podcast. How can they get in touch with us if they want to choose to do so?
Let me get back to that page.
It always gets slow right here.
graveltraveldirt.com. Our podcast Instagram is at Mid-Atlantic GTD, and our phone number is 410-231-3850.
Haven't had any voicemails in a while. Let's put out a call. Put out a call for the voicemails. We want a voicemail. Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt is recorded this week from right here in Joey's kitchen and Emporia, Kansas.
Yep.
That's pretty doggone
That's
cool
pretty
to be
cool.
able to say. I like that. Thanks for riding along, everybody. Until next time, you know what to do. Do good, be nice, go slow, respect others, and stay healthy.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.